All right, so this week we're going to talk a lot about if you're planning to live in Virginia Beach or in the Hampton Roads area and plan to move here soon, what to do and when to buy your house if you're going to be here in the next few months. I'm a little bit concerned because interest rates have risen very, very quickly over the last couple of weeks. This could mean a lot for anybody planning to move here anytime in the next few months. Hey, my name is Sam Santalone and I'm a real estate agent in the Hampton Roads area that goes from Virginia Beach all the way up through Williamsburg, and I do videos every week about living and moving to this area. So let's get into it. Yesterday, interest rates went up even after they had been creeping up over the last few weeks, and you can get an interest rate, in the low threes as early as a few weeks ago, even in sometimes the high twos. I've seen them in crazy events. But now they've crept up. 3.5 is somewhat uncommon. 3.75, 4%. I'm hearing fours for the first time in over 2 years. That matters because as your interest rates increase, even if the prices continue to go up, you're going to be paying more for the same house. As rates increase, you need to be more particular about what type of purchase you make. Now, scarcity is extremely high right now, which is making it more difficult than often to buy a house even as interest rates increase, because it's hard to find which house you want, more competition, multiple offers, all the things that we've been going through over the last year and a half. The difference is the interest rate, and I've said this in a lot of videos in the last year or so about what to do and what to prepare for as interest rates increase, because it was very likely that they would increase, and now they've started to do that. They're getting closer to that 4% and over mark that, historically speaking, has been kind of a benchmark for pricing and how pricing adjusts. And I'm going to show you some examples. The average sales price in all of Hampton Roads, and this is including all the south side and the peninsula, is $376.75. Okay, what does that represent? So right now, if you're looking at this, you'll say, okay, well, the prices are going to probably go down eventually as interest rates increase, right, Sam? Well, I'll tell you this. Between 2012 and 2020, the lowest average sales price of any month during any year is usually that first month of the year, because the purchases in the last month in December close in January. That is that way just about every year, right? But watch what happens between the January time period and the July, June-ish time period. It's the highest. The difference between the lowest price in the year and the highest price of the year is often, even in the consistent market, can be over 10% between those two numbers. What would we expect now? Well, as we get into the first part of 2022, we're going to find ourselves in the same position. There's a good chance that the 376 number in 12 is almost going to be the lowest we'll see for the next year. What we don't know is how the scarcity of the market is going to influence the demand of the houses. And what we also don't know is, including the idea that this is the first time in this whole demand increase that interest rates have risen to the point of being in and around close to 4%, which again, talk to your lender specifically to find out what your interest rate might be, but it could be in that range right now, and it might be expensive to buy it down to a lower rate. So what does that really mean? It means that there is a chance that as prices continue to rise, it will start costing you even more to buy the same house, especially as we get further on into the springtime and the summertime. I'm going to show you just an example of an illustration of the mortgage interest rates over the last 15 years. The average annual rate down here this is Freddie Mac average in general over the last 20 years, but in 2010, 2011, 2012, you see these rates: 4.69, 4.45, 3.66. 3.66 was the first time, it was the first time, 2012, where the average was under 4, and it stayed that way through 2013, 14, 15, 16. One, it went right above in 2014, but in general, other than just 18, it's been under 3 and now under 4. And under 3 even this past year. And if you notice, ever since 2012, that's when the prices had started to increase and increase and increase. It was generally healthy for that time period between 2012 and 2019. Now, as the jump increases, the interest rates went even lower, and now we're seeing it even increase even more. But you're going to see, as we get back to 4%, prices start to stabilize. So the question then is, well, if that's the case, Sam, why should I buy now, or should I wait until later? Good question. That's the big question, right? So I personally believe that buying a house when it is right for you is more important than anything else. I'm not saying don't worry about the finances. I'm saying don't worry as much about the market as much as your personal situation. And part of that does factor into into finances. And again, at what point can you afford the house that you want to buy? Well, if you're going to be buying and you're not going to be renting, which renting is also extremely hard too, the window of time between now and the middle of March, I think will be the prime time to get a house that you want for the lowest interest rate, to me, possible as the market, as the year increases. I'm going to show you exactly what that means in numbers on this amortization schedule. So, looking back, the average sales price now in this area is $376 and $75. Now, that's in Virginia Beach is even higher than that. So I'm using as a general idea here, but Virginia Beach in general is higher than that. But let's just use $400,000 as an example. $400,000, 30-year mortgage, and 3.5% interest. That monthly payment is just under $1,800 per year. Now, notice the interest that you're paying, just over, well, almost $246,500 of interest for that mortgage. Good chance, better chance of that. But as you increase, let's just say now it goes into April, and now the prices are going to be, $400, maybe $420. And let's just say that interest rate now is 4%. So instead of it being $1,800 a month and $246 interest, you're paying over $50,000 more in interest for that $20,000 loan and over $200 more per month for that house that's $20,000 higher. That's a significant increase. So now, if you increase that to, let's just say the market goes to $430 in the middle of July. I'm just making up an idea here, but I'm trying to make a specific point here. Let's say that goes to 4.375. Look at the payment now. $2,146.93. So the house that you wanted at $400,000 in January or February at that 3.5, maybe 3.75% is now easily anywhere from $2 something to almost $300 or $400 a month more for the same house, but a higher payment with a higher interest rate. So that leads me to the next point. If you have time to wait, like for example, waiting to buy in the fall, you can do that. There will be possibly lower prices in the fall. However, the interest rates might not change. So let's say, for example, that $430 house you waited and maybe it was $420 in October, for example. Let's just say it's $420. And now your rate is going to be the same, just about the same, 4.375. Now you're paying $2,100 a month for a house that at $400,000 at 3.5%. is $1,800. Again, these numbers are not accurate. I'm trying to prove a point as to, even though prices increase, even if they drop some, the interest rate is going to still be a strong determining factor as to how much you're going to be paying total. So if you're going to be buying this year, it's, conveniently, you can say, I'll wait and get a cheaper price wait through the spring and summertime, get a cheaper price, but there's a high chance you'll be paying more in interest. If you were me, I would be targeting between now and March if possible, or maybe even April. And I'm gonna be watching interest rates. And again, please check with your lenders, keep talking to them, make sure you have a pulse of what's going on, and make sure they do too. You don't want someone as a lender that's gonna just not care or not watch this market, because this really influences your payment by could be hundreds of dollars for the same house. But if you're gonna be buying in the springtime, I would be as careful as you can to get something as early as you can, if you can, even though there's scarcity right now, because that house that you want now might be more expensive, not just in price, but also in interest rate and interest payments. So if you have any questions about this or about relocating or living in this area, this is what I do. I help people move to this area for the first time or for the 100th time. I have my contact information in the description. You can reach out to me at any time and I'll do whatever I can to help you. And I will see you on the next video.